The Man Who Sold the Moon. It sounds like something from a movie, but Dennis Hope really started a business selling land in outer space. Back in 1980, Hope used to sell used cars. He was living in California and having bad luck. A divorce left him broke. Looking out a window, needing property to make money, his eyes landed on the moon. An idea popped into his head. He remembered a rule from the United Nations, the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, that stops countries from owning planets and moons. But Hope noticed it didn't say anything about people. Seeing this as a huge loophole, he took a big step. He wrote letters to the UN, the US, and the Soviet governments, claiming he owned the moon and other planets too. None of them replied, probably thinking it was silly. Hope took their silence as agreement. He started the Lunar Embassy, a business for selling parts of the moon piece by piece, acre by acre. For about $20 to $25 per acre, plus costs for taxes and shipping the papers, buyers got a nice-looking paper deed, a map showing the rough location of their moon spot, and a paper talking about owning the minerals there. It was sold as a fun gift or something to talk about. Amazingly, millions bought in, including famous people like Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, and even former US Presidents Reagan and Carter. Hope says he sold over 611 million acres on the moon, later adding Mars and Venus, sometimes asking $250,000 for bigger pieces. Space lawyers strongly say the papers have no legal power. Tries by countries like Germany and Sweden to charge Hope with fraud failed because of problems about who had the power and how hard it is to enforce rules about the moon. Since no buyer has actually tried to land on their spot, the basic idea hasn't been tested in court. Decades later, Dennis Hope still runs the Lunar Embassy, having made an estimated fortune between $9 and $12 million from his bold space claim. Maybe the largest, though not officially accepted, land business ever. The $1 Million Homepage. In August 2005, Alex Tew, a 21-year-old student in England, was worried about paying for university. Lying in bed, thinking up ways to get rich quick, he thought of something simple: selling pixels, the tiny dots on computer screens. He imagined a web page with 1 million pixels, selling each for $1. He spent only about €50, around £34, on the website name, milliondollarhomepage.com, and hosting. The smallest buy was a 10 by 10 block, 100 pixels, for $100, where buyers could put a tiny linked image. He started sales with friends and family, making the first $1,000. Then, a news release changed everything. Big news sources like the BBC covered it, and the site spread quickly online. Companies, wanting people to see their ads, rushed to buy spots. The homepage quickly became a messy, lively picture of tiny ads. Lots of people visited, maybe over 25,000 a day, just weeks after it started. By early January 2006, only 4 months later, 999,000 pixels were sold. Tew smartly sold the last 1,000 pixels on eBay for a large $38,100. This brought the total money he made before costs to $1,037,100. After low costs, Tew became an internet millionaire. He dropped out of university, no longer worried about money for school. The site is still online, like a piece of internet history, though many links have stopped working. Tew later helped start the meditation app named Calm, now worth billions. The Man Who Sold Pet Rocks. Imagine selling rocks, just plain, ordinary rocks. In the mid-1970s, Gary Dahl, who worked selling ads, was in a bar listening to friends complain about the problems of having pets. As a joke, he said his pet rock was perfect. No feeding, no mess, no vet bills. That joke gave him an idea. Sell rocks as pets. Dahl got serious. He got smooth, grey stones from a beach in Mexico for about a cent each. The smart part wasn't the rock. It was the box and the marketing. Each pet rock sat on soft straw inside a cardboard box that looked like a pet carrier, even with air holes. Most importantly, it came with a very funny 32-page handbook called The Care and Training of Your Pet Rock, telling how to make the rock sit, stay, or roll over with help. It was just making fun of things, and people loved how silly it was. Dahl started selling the pet rock in August 1975, right before Christmas, for $4 each. It became a huge hit all over the country. People bought them as joke gifts or just because it was the popular, weird thing to do. Dahl sold over 1 million pet rocks in only a few months. He became a millionaire very fast, making about $1 profit for each rock after costs. The trend ended fast in early 1976. But Gary Dahl had already made his money from one of the simplest, most cleverly sold products ever. In 2015, Alex Craig, a 24-year-old app maker in Texas, had a very strange idea. What if you could secretly mail someone a message written on a potato? It seemed totally silly, but he thought it was funny and interesting. He bought potatoparcel.com and started the site the next day. The idea was easy. People order a potato online, type a message, and Craig would write it on the potato and secretly mail it for about $10. He posted about it on Reddit and it spread online super fast. People were confused, amused, and interested. Orders came in fast. What started as a joke quickly turned into a business that could work. Craig was writing messages on hundreds of potatoes. The total silliness got the internet interested. Within months, Potato Parcel was making $10,000 to $13,000 each month. Craig went on the TV show Shark Tank in 2016 and made a deal with Kevin O'Leary, getting a $50,000 investment. The business kept growing, selling more things like potatoes with pictures and gift sets. Alex Craig eventually sold the company, but Potato Parcel still runs today, having mailed hundreds of thousands of potatoes with messages. It shows how a really silly, surprising idea can turn into a business that makes surprising money. The woman who sold her bathwater. Selling messages on potatoes seems strange, but selling used bathwater takes making yourself a brand into new and argued about areas. Belle Delphine created a special online image, mixing cartoon styles and e-girl fashion. By 2019, she had millions of followers interested in her strange posts. She noticed fans often joked they would drink her bathwater. Instead of ignoring it, Belle saw a chance in how silly it was. In July 2019, she started selling Gamer Girl bathwater online for $30 a jar. She said it was her real used bathwater, with a warning, not for drinking, only for keeping for feelings. It was a clever trick fitting her online image. It quickly caused a big reaction online. Anger, confusion, funniness, and lots of news stories. Even with the arguments, all the jars, maybe 500 of them, reportedly sold out in just 3 days. Exactly how much money she made just from bathwater is argued about, but the trick made her much more famous. She used this fame to start other businesses, including an OnlyFans account making lots of money, where she reportedly made over $1 million per month later on. The bathwater itself became very famous, a symbol of strange online selling and turning a fan joke into a famous product that added a lot to her multi-million-dollar fortune. If selling used bathwater pushed the limits, one reality TV star figured there were still stranger, more personal things people might actually pay for. The reality star who bottled her farts. Just when bathwater seemed like the weirdest personal thing sold, Stephanie Matto went even further. Known from 90 Day Fiancé, Matto was already trying ways to make money online. Seeing unusual things sell well, she decided in late 2021 to sell something even shorter lasting and not talked about. Her farts. She announced she would sell farts caught in small, closed glass jars for the high price of $1,000 each, sometimes half price. She started eating certain foods known to cause gas: beans, protein muffins, eggs. She showed how she did it on TikTok and Instagram, showing meals and how she carefully bottled the gas, often adding a flower petal. Each jar came with a note written just for the buyer. The total boldness got huge online attention. Amazingly, people bought them. Matto said one very busy week she made $50,000. However, the business harmed her health. In January 2022, strong chest pains sent her to the hospital. Doctors said it was too much gas from her special food plan and told her to stop. Having reportedly made around $200,000 from her fart business, she stopped selling the actual jars. She briefly switched to selling online fart jar pictures, NFTs, and special Christmas decorations. But the main strange story of bottling farts ended, maybe marking the strangest entry yet in the history books of weird ways people got rich. If you want to see more crazy stories, click on the video on your screen.